Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. Today we're going to start off this episode this week with some different kind of news, if you will. It is about boxing, but it is about influencer boxing. A big event taking place this week down in Tampa is the Creator Clash 2. And this is going to be something that I think a lot of boxing fans will enjoy just from the perspective of the numbers involved. Not only are the fighters who are taking place at this particular event what we would call influencers, but they influence a tremendous amount of people. And those people who follow these people, subscribe to these people, enjoy these people's content, are going to enjoy them in the boxing ring. And these young people have been training hard with professional trainers over the past year since the last Creator Clash event took place last May. And in that event, two young ladies went toe-to-toe, Haley Sharpe and Justin Minks. Justin Minks came out on top, and Haley Sharpe was a bit disappointed. She admitted after the fight, but she vowed she'd be back in the ring. And here she is this year taking on Marisha Ray. Now, the creator of this particular event, his name is, his moniker is iDubbbz, Ian. And he says, I'm so proud of the fighters and how seriously they're taking this. It's a testament to their commitment and character, along with their commitment to a good cause. It's important that I point out to my boxing fans around the world that they're going to raise millions of dollars at this event, and they are giving away that money. These fighters are not taking money home with them. They are doing it for the love of the sport, and they're doing it for a great number of causes. Ian continues, all of our fighters are students of the game, learning and appreciating the sweet science of boxing as they've been training for months with professional boxing coaches and dedicating themselves fully to an intense training regimen. Boxing is truly like no other sport in the world, and it's going to be one hell of an event. In particular, let's start off this week by talking about Haley Sharpe, who is the favorite going to this fight against Marisha Ray. They're both from the United States, by the way. I believe Marisha Ray was originally from Kentucky. Don't know where she's hailing from these days or where she's training. But Haley Sharpe is over in California and trains out of Los Angeles, 20 years old, going up against a little bit older, wiser, shall we say, 33-year-old Marisha Ray. And I got to say this. This is, I already told you what Haley Sharpe said. She was a little bit upset, so she's been preparing hard over the past year. But this is what Marisha Ray had to say. Just under 1 week out from Creative Clash, and I'm already going through waves of emotions. I'm so excited to step into that ring, but already sad at the thought of it being over. This journey into amateur boxing has been one of the hardest challenges I've ever put myself through, and I love a good challenge. I've put my body through hell and back, but the results are undeniable, as I've stacked 10 pounds of muscle while dropping 3% of body fat. There have been literal blood, sweat, and tears. My body hurts all the time. I'm in a constant state of exhaustion, and I miss my friends and my husband deeply. Many sacrifices have been made, but I'm allowing myself to be proud at the immense amount of work and dedication I put into this. No matter what happens on April 15th, I will always cherish and be so grateful for this experience and the lifelong friends I've made along the way. Now, as an influencer, in total, let's go back to what iDubbbz was saying. I forget the actual number of millions or 50 million or 100 million followers in total they have. Just for example, in addition to the main event, there'll be a pre-show hosted by a fellow by the name of Markiplier. 34.1 million YouTube subscribers. 34.1 million. And his co-host on that show will Jacksepticeve. And he's got 28.9 million YouTube subscribers. These are phenomenal numbers. And they're going to bring their fans together to watch the sport of boxing on this particular night, being held at the Amalie Arena down in Tampa Bay. And I would love to have gone and seen this fight. I promoted it, the first one, a lot. I'm also happy to promote this one as well. I promoted it on the Friday night panel uh, to less than enthusiastic response among the professional boxing pundits. But let me tell you, all net profits from Creative Clash 2 will go to charities personally chosen by the fighters. Participating charities include NAMI, Able Gamers, Kidney Fund, Nicholas Children's Hospital, Kids Cancer Foundation, Cure Sarcoma, American Heart Association, Alzheimer's Association, Critical Role Foundation, MS Society, and more. And given the numbers who will be watching online around the world, I'd have to say they're going to generate an awful lot of money for those charities. Well done. Hats off. And more to come this week as I'll continue with my coverage of the fighters taking place at Creator Clash 2. Let's go around the world now and report on someone who we hadn't really truly heard of since he decided to enter the ring against Floyd Mayweather. And he entered the ring as a kickboxing champ, very well known in Japan, by the way. I believe undefeated. I believe he sported a record at that time of 42-0 in kickboxing. But over the weekend, this kickboxing superstar, Tenshin Nasukawa, put on a show in his pro boxing debut in Tokyo, dominating Yuki Yonohana over 6 rounds. The 24-year-old Tenshin won on scores of 59-55, 60-53, and 60-53. Boxing fans not familiar with kickboxing may know his name from that exhibition match against Floyd Mayweather, where he was knocked out pretty handily against the much bigger and actual professional boxer. So anyway, now Nasukawa stands at 1-0, and he fought at 122, by the way, for this bout. And he did score a questionable knockout in round number 2 on a punch that really sort of hit Yonohana in the back of the head, caught him off balance. But the referee ruled Yonohana's glove had touched down. So anyway, congratulations to Tenshin. And let's see. And then the Japanese, and quite frankly, given his character and his charisma, he's going to be right up there with the Inouis in terms of their popularity and growing popularity in Japan, across Japan, as boxing certainly is beginning to take over as a popular combat sport. Quick little recap about Inoue, by the way. Oh, yes, here it is. Yes, Tenshin compiled a kickboxing record of 42-0. And did do well, by the way. It says here in the first round against Floyd Mayweather. And that was back in 2018. So since then, he's been training hard as a boxer and won his first fight. So good for him. Good for Japanese boxing. Good for the boxing sport in general around the world. In particular, oh my goodness, there are a ton of Japanese fights to report on, but I did not put them in my overview, which you'll see down below. So let's just rock and roll over to Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza, who we talked about on Friday night during our panel. Brian Mendoza broke out in a major way in his fight by scoring the 2023 frontrunner for knockout of the year and upset of the year. Down big on all 3 scorecards, Mendoza stunningly stopped Sebastian Fundora in the weekend with a 3-punch combination in the 7th round to win the WBC interim super welterweight title. His sensational finish capped off a meteoric rise for the 11-1 underdog Mendoza, who just 13 months ago was fighting in non-televised walkout bouts. But then in November, Mendoza knocked out the former unified champ, Jason Rosiero, on 10-day notice out of his first fight at 160 pounds. And the resounding performance set up Mendoza for Fundora. Wow. Great fight, great knockout, great for boxing. San Antonio's hometown hero, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, kicked it up a notch. He welcomed the downtime leading. He welcomed the downtime leading? Okay, let's forget about that first sentence. The gifted 23-year-old boxer is confirmed to have suffered a fractured jaw in his WBO flyweight title winning effort over Mexico's Christian Gonzalez over the weekend. Rodriguez was taken to hospital immediately after his brief post-fight interview. He even gave an interview with a broken jaw following the win over Gonzalez, who's now 15-2 in a DAZN headliner from the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, his hometown. Rodriguez said the next day, went through hell for this belt. Yeah, sounds like he did. A lot of people would have quit after fracturing their jaw, but I've never been one of those. Requiring surgery earlier this week. It's all good, though. I'm a two-time world champion. Rodriguez, he's 18-0, by the way, became San Antonio's first ever multi-division titleist to win the crown on Saturday, and he's also the sport's youngest active two-division title claimant. The fear came a year after he became the first 2000-born fighter to win a major title when he claimed the WBC junior bantamweight title in a win over former champ Carlos Cuadras last February in Phoenix, Arizona. The title opportunity last year came on short notice for Rodriguez, though it proved to be well worth the risk. He made 2 successful defenses for 3 total fights in a 7-month span before shutting everything down for the fight for the rest of the year to reload and drop down to flyweight for a second title run. His latest hometown headliner on Saturday proved historic, though at a cost. He believed to have fractured his jaw midway through the otherwise lopsided win over Gonzalez. He says, I guess my mouth was open and I just got caught. This shit hurts. I can barely talk through this shit. I can well imagine. All right, let's move along to Shakur Stevenson, a story by Sam Bolts out of BoxingNews24.com. Shakur Stevenson feels he won't have any problems getting the top fighters in the 135-pound division to face him once he becomes a pay-per-view attraction. Stevenson's now 20-0, 10 knockouts, says all he needs to do to make the transition to become a pay-per-view star is keep winning and selling out arenas. And that certainly goes without saying. Top Rank will need to work extra hard after last Saturday to find opponents willing to fight Shakur because the promoters aren't going to want their fighters to get beaten by him. For now, Shakur may put the fear in the likes of undisputed lightweight champ Devin Haney, WBA secondary belt holder Gervonta Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia with his 6th-round TKO victory over Shioichiro Yoshino, 16-1, last Saturday in their WBC lightweight title eliminator at the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. Haney, Tank, and Ryan aren't going to want to wind up in the same boat as Yoshino and be made to look silly by Shakur. Losing like that could hurt their earning potential because boxing fans would remember loss like that and be less likely to purchase their fights on pay-per-view. Predictably, Haney will steer clear of Shakur if he beats Vasily Lomachenko on May 20th and will make a try for Tank versus Ryan winner. The top talents at 135 for Shakur to target are, at the moment, Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, George Kambosos Jr., Keyshawn Davis, Isaiah Cruz, Frank Martin, William Zepeda, Vasily Lomachenko, Jamin Ortiz, and Gustavo Lemos. Said Shakur, pressure don't get to me. It used to get to me, but now I feel like I'm at home. I know I put in a lot of work. I had an 8-week camp, lots of miles. I trust my training. I knew everyone was going to be okay, so I trust I just have fun tonight. Put me anywhere on earth, and I'm coming up victorious. I had to start watching out for this hook because he can crack. He's got some good power, so I had to be aware of his hook and not catch me with nothing clean. No, I'm not worried about it because once I jump that big pay-per-view superstar, they're all going to jump in line for a paycheck. They're all going to want to be under the bright lights and want to be in the big moments with me. Just like you're with me. All right. Thank you very much for joining us here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. I appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. when I join Cedric Penn and Mike Orr for their show, Knuckle Up.